marrow, but not much of it. Some of this is going to be recycled by the phagocytic cells, by the macrophages in the liver itself. Okay, so the globin is broken down to amino acids which are metabolized. Okay, now all we're left right here is the heme. Okay, is the porphyrin ring. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. It's the porphyrin ring structure. What happens to the porphyrin ring? That's the third component of the hemoglobin itself. We've taken care of the globin. We've taken care of the iron that's in the heme. What happens to the porphyrin ring? Well, the porphyrin ring right here is broken down to two components to begin with. One is biliverdin. Now we're still in the liver. We're still in the spleen right here. Biliverdin, which is converted to bilirubin. I want this in your answer. Biliverdin is green. Biliverdin is green. Bilirubin is yellow. All right. So we're leaving the macrophage right now. The bilirubin is transferred to the liver by albumin, by the osmotic regulator, by albumin to the liver itself. In the liver, the bilirubin is excreted in the bile. And as long as the bile ducts are empty, they're open, they're patent, they're not blocked, the bilirubin is going to show up in the bile. It's going to be emptied into the digestive system, into the small intestine itself. So we're almost done with the recycling of this right here. Now in the gut, the bilirubin is converted to urobilinogens or stercobilinogens. Or my author has urobilins and stercobilins. Okay, now some of these are absorbed in circulation, and some of these go back to the bone marrow. But the vast majority of this converted bilirubin in the small intestine, the urobilinogens or stercobilinogens, or one or the other, is going to stay in the feces and give the feces its brown color. So that's the recycling of heme. So there's not a whole lot of recycling except in the iron itself, okay? But we're going to put these under the recycling of heme itself. So take a look at 19.5 and tell me about the recycling of heme itself. Include biliverdin, bilirubin, either urobilinogen or stercobilinogen right here. Let's finish up with the relationship between gallstones and liver disease to jaundice. Okay? Jaundice is an accumulation of yellow pigment. The easiest way to look at it is in the eye. You pull down your lower eyelid, get a healthy look at what it normally looks like. It should be fairly pale, it should be fairly white, okay? If it's red, it's got increased circulation. If it's yellow, then there's a liver problem. You have jaundice right here. The reason that you have jaundice is that the bilirubin builds up in the liver, it overflows to the blood, it builds up in the tissues. The reason it builds up in the liver is because there's gallstones blocking the emptying of the bilirubin to the duodenum. Okay, that's the time between jaundice and bilirubin. Okay, rhodotransferrin is to transport the iron that's released by the macrophages from the liver or spleen to the bone marrow that we have right here. The lifespan of the erythrocyte, as I say, it's about 120 days. What limits it? Well, let me give you a guess. Probably have to go back to lecture 1 last semester when we talked about the function of the carbohydrates on the cell surface. The carbohydrates identify the cell itself. Maybe there is a change in the carbohydrate structure on these red blood cells because they're going to get the hell beat out of them every time they go through the heart, every time they go through the capillaries right there. Maybe there's a change in their cell structure. There's a change in the carbohydrate makeup of their cells, and now they're identified as foreign, and after about 120 days, they're going to be recycled. That's my guess. Okay? Now we'll talk about some of the some of the bloodlines, some of the tissue cells in developing the red blood cell a little bit later on. I'll pick that up with you here, but right now I'm probably going to go to lunch. I'll come back and I'll finish up with this. At the end of the next section right here, that'll be your quiz that you can fill out and do. All righty? Bye-bye.